Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Unacademy, India's largest online learning portal for the preparation of competitive exams. My name is Neelam, and I'm going to be your guide and facilitator for CAT and other management exams. Now that CAT is done and dusted, a lot of you may be feeling disappointed or dejected because you could not perform up to your potential in the exam, or you could not perform as you had expected. This exam actually startled everyone. It dashed the hopes of some of them, it raised the hopes of a few of them. Now, some of you might be thinking of abandoning your desire to do MBA this year and giving it another shot next year. Or some of you might have started considering taking campus placement option this year, acquire some work experience, and then do MBA after 2 or 3 years. So a lot of thoughts must be crossing your mind at this point of time, and it's very natural. Now, today's session is going to target at giving you the options after CAT 2020 to realize your goal of doing MBA from a prestigious College of India this year. Even if you did not perform well in CAT, or even if you are not satisfied with your performance from CAT, you can still hope to get admission in one of the top B schools of India. So you should not discard your desires as of now. So today's session is going to talk about those options which are equally brilliant. All right, so let's begin with today's session, that is what after CAT 2020. Before that, let me give you a brief introduction of myself. My name is Neelam Malkani. I possess around 12 years of experience of test preparation industry and have been trained students for CAT, GRE, GMAT, IILTS and TOEFL. My areas of expertise have been English and verbal reasoning. I also design and set assessment papers of English and reasoning for different exams. I did this for government bodies and professional bodies of different states. I also had the opportunity to examine the proficiency of English of those applicants who were going for an international exam. Recently, I have written a comprehensive book of English for the preparation of competitive exams. So these are my credentials which make me a suitable person to guide you for your management education. Now, this video is brought to you by Unacademy. Let me take you to its portal and tell you how you can start your preparation with this amazing platform. You have to go in the Play Store of your mobile phone and download Unacademy Learning app. After filling in all the details, you will be shown 3 offerings, plus courses, free courses, and special classes. After you have this app in your phone, you can attend all the classes which are available under free courses and special classes. But if you want to attend classes for Plus in CAT, you have to subscribe to the course. When you go in the subscription, you will be shown all the features that you will be availing after you subscribe. Features such as 30 hours of live sessions every day. So as per your convenient time or as per your availability, you can choose the time of your sessions. The courses are well structured and well designed by those people who have extensive experience of curriculum and module design. The courses have fine balance of conceptual clarity and testing so that you are prepared well for the exam finally. These courses are delivered by 40 plus top educators of India who have wealth of experience of guiding and mentoring students in their respective domains. Every month you see a new course being launched on Unacademy catering to the specific needs of an exam. When you go further, you will be shown different models of subscription that have been devised by Unacademy to suit your plan of this preparation. If you want to go for 1 month's preparation, the subscription is going to be 3,500. If you are applying for CAT 2021, you should go for 1 year's subscription. The fee is going to be 17,500. Whichever model you choose or whichever plan of subscription you choose, if you want further 10% discount, you have to type the code Neelam. With that, you will be able to get further 10% discount, and your fee is going to come down to 3150 for 1 month and 15,750 for year. Now, when you go and download the app, if you want to attend classes for special classes under the category of special classes, you have to type this code Neelam to attend my classes there as well. So when you type this code, all the sessions are going to be unlocked, and then you will have unlimited access to these sessions. So for special session as well as for plus course, you will have to type this code Neelam. All right, so let's start with today's session, that is what after CAT 2020. Now, I would like to start with a very positive note so that you have that needed boost that you really need at this point of time. So 10 years down the line, nobody is going to ask you which college you did your MBA from. Or 10 years down the line, nobody is actually going to ask you what were your percentile in CAT or other management exams. So these things are not really going to matter in long run. What really matters is how well you do with the opportunity that is thrown at you, that life gives you, right? And how well that opportunity is exploited by you in long run. So that is what is going to matter. So your CAT percentile and ultimately which college you do your MBA from do not matter in long run. So don't fret your energy about these inconsequential things which are not going to shape your future. Second, everyone is in the same boat. So CAT 2020 actually startled everyone. So everybody was shell-shocked to see the level of difficulty in verbal ability and in LRDI. And some slots had higher level difficulty than the other slots, but more or less everybody is in the same boat. All right. So you were not picked and chosen by CAT examiner or by destiny to have this kind of exam or to have this kind of paper. It actually happened with everyone. So you better stop feeling negative about this thing and re-energize yourself, re-channelize your energy to focus on other exams which are happening in December, January and February, right? So this is the time for you to recollect your energy or to re-energize yourself to focus on these exams. Ultimately, your goal was to do MBA from a top management college of India, right? So there are other top colleges of India which do not depend on CAT. So if you did not do well in CAT, you still have the option of taking these exams and you have a fair shot to get admission into these premier B schools of India. So now the strategy is to focus on non-CAT exams, all right? So why these exams? So you may ask that CAT is the mother of all management exams and that is considered to be the gold standard of aptitude test in India. Yes, that's true. At the same time, the truth is also that these colleges are on par with IIMs. Other colleges which are there with other non-CAT exams are as prestigious, are as excellent in imparting management education as IIMs are. So that is why I would highly recommend, or any expert of management education would recommend you to take these exams. So one reason is some colleges are as good as IIMs. As I told you, XLRI, FMS, IIFT, some colleges of SIBM, like symbiosis like SIBM Pune, SAMHRD Pune, these colleges are on par with IIMs. Some of the IIMs. XLRI on par with IIM Bangalore, IIM Lucknow, whereas FMS and IIFT would be with the tier 1 colleges. So that's how you see that if you opt for these colleges, you are not compromising with your dream, you're not compromising with your aspirations. You are fulfilling your dream of doing MBA from a reputed college of India, right? So it's not a compromising situation. So please discard this feeling from your mind that if you are targeting these exams, you are anyway compromising. Now, I would like to augment my point by giving you one piece of data. Financial Times Global MBA Ranking 2020 has ranked Indian School of Business, ISB Hyderabad, at the 20th position, which is better than IIM Calcutta, which is at 42nd position, and IIM Ahmedabad, which was at 61st position. So ISB Hyderabad was higher ranked than IIM Calcutta and IIM Ahmedabad. So come out of this illusion that IIMs are the only institutions in India which are imparting qualitative management education. You still have an option of getting into ISB with 2 or 3 years of work experience and after scoring very well in GMAT. Alright? So because that school ranks higher than IIM Ahmedabad and higher than IIM Bangalore. Admissions to IIM is not dependent only on CAT score. You might have seen the selection criteria of IIMs. All IIMs have clearly laid out their selection criteria, which changed this year. Now, these colleges are going to give importance to CAT score, your performance in WAT and PI, your overall academic score, your 10th score, your 12th score, and your graduation. So, academic excellence has to be taken into cognizance while shortlisting the candidate. The work experience will also be given weightage from 1 to 5. So 1 to 5 points will be given to those people who have 2 to 3 years work experience. So depending on that, you will be shortlisted. Your academic and gender diversity. Since there is a preponderance of engineering students in management classes or management colleges, they have started to give preference to those students who come from different streams, those who come from commerce, those who come from art, those who come from medical, other streams of science. So here, your academic diversity will also be considered while calling you for the second phase, as well as your gender diversity. Most of these colleges have started giving preference to women and transgenders. So if they are able to qualify in the aptitude test, they will be given preference over other students. So that way, all these things are to be taken into account while shortlisting the candidate. So that means scoring well in CAT wouldn't have been the sole criterion on which you would have been called for the second phase. So stop regretting on those things that were not in your control, right? Even if you had performed extremely well, and if you in that situation, if you did not score well on other parameters like your work experience, your overall academic record, your academic consistency, you possibly would not have been given the right. So now you should focus your shift from CAT to other colleges. Now, some of the colleges that I have listed in this slide are on par with IIMs in terms of their academic rigor, in terms of their faculty, their alumni base, their industry interface, and their placement records. They are on par with IIM's performance. The colleges such as FMS Delhi, the college which has excellent position in terms of its ROI, return on investment. Fees somewhere around 1,60,000, 2 lakh rupees for 2 years, and the average placement is going to be around 20 lakh. ROI is way better than any of the IIMs. SP Jam Mumbai, one of the finest management institutes in India, one of the oldest institutions which has been imparting qualitative education in India. XNRI, a formidable name in human resource management program. JBIMS Mumbai, a college which has given illustrious alumni in profusion. The people who are placed in the top position of corporate world were from JBIMS. IFT, a name to be reckoned with when it comes to international education or international business management program. A college which was founded by Government of India, which is an autonomous college now, but it was founded by Government of India to professionalize the international management program in India. SIBM Pune and SCMHRD Pune, both the colleges are again excellent in terms of their pedagogy as well as their extensive curriculum. NMIMS Mumbai and TIS, both the colleges based in Mumbai. TIS, again, a very redoubtable college when it comes to social and ethical and cultural outlook. So it has a different ethos. This is actually a college which is targeted by those students who want to do something for society, who want to do something in social entrepreneurship, who want to give back to the society, but at the same time they also value their education. So TIS, again, kind of college which is very hard to be compared with IIMs. MICA, if you want to carve your niche in the field of advertising, communication, brand building, brand management, then MICA is the college that you want to be in. ABA for rural management, ISB Hyderabad, as I named, that's only college which is above in the ranking than IIM Ahmedabad and Bangalore. IITs, IIT Mumbai, IIT Delhi, IIT Kharagpur. And there are plenty other colleges which are as good as the new IIMs or baby IIMs. Right? So these colleges on par with the top IIMs, but there are other colleges which are on par with baby IIMs and new IIMs. So you have plenty options to look for. Right? So this is not the time to abandon your hope or abandon your desire to do MBA, but to shift your focus on these exams which are targeting these colleges. Now, just to substantiate my claim that what ranking these colleges hold, so this is the ranking given by the Government of India. I gave you the ranking of Financial Times, which is again a gold standard of the ranking of education institutions, but Government of India also ranks the colleges as per their different benchmarks. Now, this was given by Ministry of HRD, Ministry of Human Resource Development. First was given to Bangalore, second Ahmedabad, third Kolkata, fourth Lucknow, fifth Indore, and sixth ranking was given to IIT Kharagpur. And next was Xavier Institute of Relationship. So you see, Government of India itself does not rank all of its IIMs in the higher ranking. Right after 5 IIMs, you see 2 other institutions coming up on par with these institutions. So this is something which is irrefutable because it is given on the website of Government of India. So you must not have an iota of doubt in your mind about the validation of these colleges. It has been ratified by none other than Government of India itself. All right. So one more thing, which is the biggest concern for all of us. After all, when you put up so much energy and so many efforts at the same time, you channelize so much funds in your education, you always look at the ROI, that is return on investment. So how much money you are going to get after you invest so much in your education. So look at the placements at IIM. So I have taken this from the IIM's website. Now Udaipur, the average domestic salary per annum was 11.95, Raipur had 12.45, Kashipur had 12.19 lakh. That was average domestic salary. Look at the highest maximum domestic salary. That was 19.5 for Udaipur, 22 for Raipur, and 20 for Kashipur. So these new IIMs, these are not baby IIMs, these are new IIMs, have the average and the maximum domestic salary in these figures. Now, in comparison with the salaries offered by the established IIMs, 17 by Kozhikode, 24 by Ahmedabad, Kolkata 24. The highest in Kolkata was 55 and 72 in Ahmedabad, whereas it was 38 in Kozhikode. So there is a huge gap. There is a world of difference between the salaries, highest salaries, as well as the average domestic salaries offered at IIMs. So if not top 5 or 6 IIMs, is it really worth getting admission into these IIMs? Possibly you would like to consider that. Now look at the placement comparison of new IIMs and non-CAT colleges. Look at this. IIM Udaipur, as I said, 11.95, that was the average package. whereas FMS Delhi was 21.1, whereas the fee of IIM Udaipur is going to be more than 15 lakh, fee of FMS Delhi is going to be 2 lakh. Spending 2 lakh rupees, getting 21.1 lakh average package is definitely a fairer deal. Bodh Gaya had 10.6 lakh rupees as the average package, whereas IFT had 19.23 lakh rupees. IIM Rohtak 11.7. I'm talking about the average, whereas SP Jain Mumbai had 22.24. So these colleges gave better results in terms of their placement record than these IIMs, right? So come out of this figment of imagination that IIMs are the only institutions to have good education in or to kickstart your professional career, right? You may be possibly disillusioned after seeing these figures that these institutions are doing way better than IIMs are doing. All right? So I gave you enough reasons to consider non-CAT exams and focus on these colleges which are not taking CAT score. All right? One more slide. Other benefits, right? So other than financial aspect, which is of course overarching aspect that cannot be overridden, nonetheless, there are other benefits that these institutions offer. What these benefits are, let's try to understand. Alumni network. Now, new IIMs and baby IIMs have been set up recently in recent years. Now, in management education, the biggest benefit that a student can get in terms of placement, in terms of professional growth, professional network, and career growth is by alumni network. A hugely rich and diverse and vast alumni network will definitely give you a lot of leverage in terms of getting assignments, professional network, campus placements, and recommendations. Whereas this thing is extremely advantageous. It takes a lot of time. It takes decades to build that alumni network. It cannot be built overnight. So for these IIMs, which have been set up recently, it is going to take a lot of time to build that alumni base. And after a point only, students are going to be benefited out of this alumni network, right? Whereas if you go with an established institution like XLRI, IIFT, FMS, which have hugely rich alumni base because of the extensive period they have been into management education, you are going to be benefited immensely, right? So that's another benefit that you can accrue if you go for the established colleges. See, sector-specific courses. Now, some of you may have the aspirations to go for a sector-specific MBA course. Some of you may have this aspiration to go for rural management. For that, one of the colleges which is at the top is IIRMA. And Ahmedabad also has a course for agribusiness, but that course has different directive, whereas this course is aiming at different sector altogether, different elements altogether of agriculture only. So if some of you have a desire to be into international business, who want to understand the nitty-gritty of export and import, or want to get into international trade, IFT is the best institution for you. None of the colleges or none of the IIMs is going to give you a program which is specifically targeted at international business. Same time, if you want to go for HR, then XLRI could be a name to be reckoned with, which is best in Asia. The XLRI, the course which is offered by XLRI is best in the Asia. So that way, these colleges offer you very sector specific. So if you have a domain preference, or if you want to carve a niche in the field of a specific domain, then these colleges would be the best choices for you. Because new IIMs, especially new IIMs, not the older ones, but the new IIMs have a very generalistic approach in their curriculum and in their pedagogy. As of now, they are focusing only on imparting education in order to award the degree as an autonomous institution. They are not devising a curriculum which is catering to the needs of a specific sector. So if you have those objectives in your mind, these IIMs are not going to fulfill those objectives. For that, you will have to look for these colleges. Location advantages. Now, if you talk about TIS, or for that matter, if you talk about MDI Gurgaon, or NITI in Mumbai again, or SMHRD in Pune. So these colleges will always be preferred over those colleges which are based in Bodh Gaya or Amritsar or Tiruchirappalli, because you will not have industry interface there. You will not have those visiting professors who come from the top-notch institutions. Your experience can be severely restricted because you are located in a very remote location, in a far-flung area, right? So if you are based in SP Jan, which is there in Mumbai, or JBIMS, which is again in Mumbai, Gurgaon, MBI in Gurgaon, so the advantage that comes with being located at a place which is heavy in terms of industry and corporate exposure. So you will have better opportunities to get your placements, you will have better opportunities to get your internship, and your industry exposure will also be better. With that, possibly the location of these colleges will also come as a preference over new IIMs or baby IIMs, right? So that way, I hope I have made it explicitly clear that you are not compromising if you're shifting your focus from IIMs to these colleges, or from CAT to other exams, right? You are making a very prudent decision which is in accordance with realizing your goal of doing MBA from a top-notch institute of India. That is still achievable, that can still be accomplished. All right. So I hope we are on the same page now that this is not a compromising situation at all. Now, in the first week of December, possibly by Friday, I will give you the answer sheet, right? And as has been the trend for last 2 years, in 2018, 2019, within a week, they gave the answer sheet. So with the official answer sheet, you can check how you performed. You possibly have some kind of illusion about your performance, right? You possibly did very well because the difficulty level was actually very high. So you did well, but you have this feeling you did not do very well, right? Or you possibly did not do well, but you felt that you possibly had a chance to get call from IIM. Now, take a stock of the situation, be realistic as you can be with yourself, and with that answer sheet, see what your score is. And after coming to a specific figure, fill the college form accordingly, right? So even fill up the form of those colleges that you had not expected to fill in earlier, right? So a grade lower than your expectation, filling the form of those colleges which are lower from your expectation would not be a foolish thing to do, right? That would be very pragmatic, and that is definitely going to be more secure than not filling the forms of those colleges, right? So after you have an answer sheet, see how you performed, see your score, and fill in the form of those colleges which have their deadline approaching, right? And one more objective that you have to fulfill by that answer sheet is see what mistakes you made. What mistakes? That means, was it the problem with your knowledge base? Could you not solve those questions because you were unfamiliar with the concept? Or could you not solve the question because there was exam pressure in the examination hall? So do you need to fine-tune your strategy in terms of your knowledge gap, or you need to fine-tune your strategy in terms of exam management? Because now, a couple of other exams in the offering in December and January, you have to see where you stand. However, number of mocks you took, that can never be comparable to actual exam like CAT. So CAT is going to give you the right diagnosis of your capabilities, right? So don't wait for the result to be declared in January. See what mistakes, because now when you have answer sheet, when you have a paper, if you sit up for the same period of time and solve paper, you will see that you can do amazingly well, just because the pressure of the exam is off, right? So see if you have to understand what is it your mistake, what is it that you are making, what mistake you are making in your examination now, right? So with that, you have crystal clarity about formulating your strategy for SNAP, ZAP, and IIFT. All right. So this is what you have to do. One, fill up the college form, which have deadlines in December and which are not going to wait for CAT results. Some of the colleges are there which are not going to wait for the CAT result. Before that only you will have to fill up their form, right? Second, solve the paper again, especially the section that you did badly. In that section, see if now you are able to solve it better. If that is the case, the problem is only with your exam management in the examination hall. The problem is not in your knowledge gaps, right? Second, with that, you reformulate your energy. You reassess your energy, your strategy, and you reformulate. All right? So that is what you have to do in the first week of December. Now the exams which are coming, IIFT, 24th January. I had a session on orientation to IIFT. I hope you watched that. If you haven't watched that, please do watch that video. In that, I extensively discussed everything about IIFT, the exam pattern, different sections, and previous papers, some peculiar characteristics of IIFT, the kind of questions which it has been asking, and IIFT has a specific flavor, right? So if you understand the flavor and if you focus on the previous papers of IIFT, you will have clear idea about what you need to focus on and what things you can easily avoid. So exam is on 24th of January. You have as many as 2 months in your hand. Even if we start today, you have almost entire December and 20 days of January. So 50 days in your hand for IIFT. That's more than sufficient time to prepare for this exam. If you prepare right and if you prepare with right set of strategy. ZAT is in the first week of January. So ZAT is something which would need a different strategy because it's a different exam. It has different flavor. So again, for ZAT as well, I'm going to make orientation video tomorrow itself. This time only, there will be an orientation to ZAT. So watch that video, understand what it requires, understand its pattern. And with that, I'll also discuss some previous year papers, previous year questions, not papers, previous year questions to give you an idea about how ZAT tests your grammar, how ZAT tests your vocabulary, right? So ZAT has a very specific way of testing your vocabulary and grammar. So with those questions, you will have sufficiently clear idea about what you need to do. Because grammar and vocabulary was not your focus for CAT, now you will have to shift your focus on these two areas as well. This is going to happen in February. The date is not out yet, but this will happen in February. So if you're targeting that exam, this exam is not going to take up your session score, right? And this exam is usually targeted by those who are not very good at mathematics because easy mathematics question will be there. The mathematics difficulty level is quite doable, quite manageable. For those of you who are from commerce background or from humanities background, they can target this exam. This again is not going to be a compromise. You look at this alumni, you look at this college, or you look at the curriculum of this. So this actually shapes you for entire life, right? So it doesn't educate you for management, it educates you for your life. So that's the kind of college which this is. So if you have that kind of temperament or if you have that kind of inclination for social entrepreneurship or for those programs which aim at overhauling the social fabric of India, social fabric of your country, you should definitely target this college. The English is a bit difficult. quite doable, but still, the exam focuses on English. Second, it is going to test your GK as well. And that too, GK, which is specific to education, culture, and economics and history of India. So certain topics which are very favorite to test. So there is a specific, if you look at previous year papers, you will have fair idea about what kind of GK you need to prepare for if you are preparing for tests. All right. SNAP, I have already taken the orientation of SNAP. So the exam is going to happen 30 point from, I mean, these dates, you can choose one of these dates to take your attempt of SNAP. So this year you can have as many as 2 attempts for SNAP. So if you have already decided to take it in December, you can go for January then, right? So SNAP again, you will have to prepare very well for this exam. This exam has a different texture, different flavor. So from CAT, you will have to shift your energy to these exams now. NMIMS, that's going to, the exam has already started. 4th of November, the exam started and it's going to last till 30th of January. So again, you can have multiple attempts for NMIMS this year as well. And I took one orientation of NMAT because it's a computer adaptive test this year. And none of the exams which is conducted in India so far for the admissions to Indian B school is computer adaptive. This is the only exam. So you will have to devise a different strategy for this exam, right? Some of you might have scored very well, and this year a lot of students have scored actually very well for NMAT, and that's why the cutoff is likely to be very, very high. So if you are planning your second attempt after CAT, please see how you need to revisit your strategy, how you need to revisit your preparation plan. All right. So these exams you need to target. Now, other thing that you should start doing after your CAT is prepare for GK and GA. Even if you are not preparing for these exams, for IFT or these exams which have GK as one of their sectional, which of these exams has GK as one of their components, you should start the preparation for GK and GA if you want to prepare for your interview, WAT or your GB. Right? So if you did very well in CAT, the second phase is going to be your group WAT and your interview. So these topics will be extensively debated, discussed and interviewed. You need to be in a position to talk about these contemporary issues with confidence. You cannot afford to be oblivious to what is happening around you, because as a manager, you are expected to have certain information about your academic, about your environment, about your political environment, economic resources, your human resources, natural resources. So all these information that are tested through GK and GA in these exams is something that you require to acquire. So IFT will have GK, though the cutoff is going to be very low. Nonetheless, you will have to prepare for GK, and some of the students are not able to clear the exam just because they could not clear the cutoff of GK. Though it is less, but it is, I mean, you will have to score. All right. So it's going to be 4 or 5 section cutoff, but you will have to score that much. CMAT, the date is not announced yet, but very likely the exam is going to happen in February or first week of March next year. So CMAT will also have 25 questions on GK, and that is going to be inclusive of everything. Static GK, current affairs. In current affairs, you will see political affairs, you will see international affairs, border disputes, you will see corporate affairs and everything. So international affairs and static GK, both will be there in CMAT. This, as I said, it is going to focus more on those issues which are related to socio-economic development of country. The different policies initiated by government for child development, for education, you will have to read the different policies of Planning Commission, right? So Planning Commission, which has been now has been replaced by other institution, but different policies which have been initiated by government for different sectors. The test is very peculiar about this GK. Its GK is going to be of different kind. IIMA for rural management, after a shortlist on the basis of CAT, it's going to conduct a different exam. In that exam, GK is going to come. So that GK will also be based on the geography, constitution, and other current affairs of India, right? So you need to be thoroughly prepared for this section. MyCat, which is for MICA, will also have GK and SAT, right? So these exams, when you prepare for these exams, they will test your GK and GA, though the cutoff is going to be very low, nonetheless you need to prepare. Same time, those of you who are not planning to take these exams, any of these exams, they need to prepare for GA and GK by reading different materials, especially those materials which are relevant to the contemporary issues, to prepare well for your interview, right? So economic affairs, different economic affairs, budget, or maybe the policy, the stimulus package which was announced by Finance Minister, your position on these issues and how well supported your position is and how well substantiated your position is with examples and different data. That is what is going to be tested in interview, right? So your awareness level about different issues and how well reasoned your position is. If you have a position, how well supported, well reasoned that position is. GD, which is going to test your ability to communicate to a group, and which is going to test your ability to articulate your ideas in a very effective manner, will also be the test of GA and current affairs, because the issues and the topics which are given as a topic of your GD will be drawn from current affairs only, right? Should working from home be a norm for corporate world, right? So it's something which is definitely very general, but same time, you have to outshine, you have to leave your mark, right? So you have to make your presence felt by giving relevant examples. Those examples can only be cited if you are well read and if you are aware of different companies' policies which have initiated working from home or which have extended the period of working from home. All right. So outshining in GD will require you to be loaded with enough facts and figures and same time with enough rationale behind those positions to support. WAT, your writing assessment test. All IIMs are going to test your writing now. And now this year Ahmedabad has started analytical writing assessment test, right? So it was WAT earlier, now it's analytical writing assessment. Those of you who have some understanding of GRE and GMAT. So GRE and GMAT have this essential component of analytical writing assessment test, right? So that is AWA. So in AWA, you have to analyze an issue. It's not about writing only. It's also about how well you analyze the given situation. So your analytical point of view, your ability to evaluate an argument well is tested through writing. So one part which is tested through WAT is how well you conform to the standard format of writing, right? And how well your writing sample conforms to the convention of writing, and analytical part is tested through what you have written, how enriched your content is, right? So for that as well, you have to be well read. You have to be aware of what is happening around you. So needless to say, whether you are preparing for these exams or not, you have got to start the preparation of GK and GA. So what you can do is allocate some time in a week for GK and GA. You can always enroll yourself for some capsule courses of different institutions which are offering GK and GA for these exams. Like for TIS, you have a TIS-NET course which is aiming at the GK of this exam only. You can always enroll for that and start preparation for that. You can also start reading the editorial of good newspapers like Indian Express and Times of India. So with that, try to widen your perspective, try to widen your scope of knowledge of different issues. If the editorial is dealing with economics, that's definitely going to give you a different perspective. If editorial is dealing with the political scenario or political situation of country, that's also going to give you some food for thought. So base your GK/GA preparation on editorial reading. With that, you also have to understand the static GK part, because static GK is not going to be covered in editorial, right? Because the exam is going to be in January and February, and the exam paper must have been set by the end of December, by December, right? So by the end of November. So editorial reading is not going to help you much in the preparation of GK for these exams, but editorial will help you in building your perspective for interview, GD and your WAT. But for these exams, you also have to prepare for static GK. For that, you will have to read some standard books for GK. Alright, so what after CAT? So shift your focus on these exams, the exams that we talked about: IIFT, SNAP, ZAT, IRMA, MyCAT, TIS and CMAT, which is going to happen. So start focusing on these exams. Start your preparation for GK and GA, because that's going to give you some benefit to score well in these exams. And also, in the first week of December, as I said, as the answer sheet is there, solve answer sheet, see answer sheet and see how much you are scoring. And with that, fill in the form of some exams. Be pragmatic about your choices, right? So even if you have to fill in the form of a college that you had not hoped to fill in earlier, you should do that, right? So don't restrict your choices. Same time, solve that paper again in order to see what is the pattern of your mistakes. That is going to give you a lot of clarity about what you need to avoid in coming exams. With that, you have to modulate your strategy, right? So that's how I come to the end of today's session. So that's going to be the takeaway of today's session. You're not compromising if you are targeting these exams. Start focusing on the previous year papers of IIFT and ZAT and SNAP. They are widely available on internet. Solving previous year papers will give you crystal clear idea about what is the expectation of these exams. And if you are scoring well, if you are clearing the cutoff of that year by doing 2019 IIFT paper, see what the cutoff is. If you are somewhere close to the cutoff, don't shy away from building your strategy again to clearing the cutoff, right? So that is going to give you the confidence to fill up the form as well as to prepare well for the exam. And see all the sessions which are focused on SNAP, IIFT and ZAT preparation. On this channel only, you will see ample amount of sessions targeted at ZAT, IIFT and SNAP preparation. In coming days only on this channel, in this slot only, I'm going to take grammar session for SNAP and IIFT, logical reasoning session for SNAP and IIFT, and one vocabulary session for both these exams, right? So stay tuned on this channel for the preparation of these exams, and do let me know if you want any of the concepts to be covered for the preparation of these exams. And keep watching this channel for more such videos for the preparation of these exams. And you can go for special sessions which are also going to cover some of the other components of these exams already, right? So tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. in the morning tomorrow, I'm going to take one session on conditional sentences. Now, conditional sentences is the part of grammar which is widely tested in exams like ZAT, SNAP and IIFT. If there is a question on grammar, you would see one question is always there on conditionals, right? So such is the importance of this topic. That's why I have decided to give one entire class to conditional. And so 9:30 a.m. tomorrow, I'm going to take up that session, which is going to help you immensely in the grammar section of IIFT, ZAT and SNAP. All right. I hope we are on the same page now, that the exams, targeting these exams is not going to be lowering your expectations or compromising with your dreams. You can still fulfill your dream of doing MBA from a top-notch institution of India, right? So stay motivated, stay confident, be confident about your ability to do MBA this year only, right? So don't put your plan on the back burner and stay focused on your aim. Thank you very much for watching this video and stay tuned on this channel for more such videos. Tomorrow, same time, I'm going to take up ZAT orientation, and tomorrow morning 9 a.m. on the platform of Unacademy, I'm going to take up session for conditionals. Thank you. Thank you very much.